and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. Are you stuck in tutorial hell? This is the stage where you follow tons of tutorials, you follow them step by step, but at the end, whenever you start a blank new empty project, all of a sudden you have no idea where to start, you have no idea what to write. If so, that's tutorial hell. You watch a ton of tutorials, but you don't really feel like you're learning anything. However, if that's the case, I would still say tutorial hell is not the real part one. Meaning this part right here, the tutorial hell, this title, this name, because that implies that tutorials are the problem when they're really not. The problem behind tutorial hell is all about this. It's all about passive learning. Tutorials are great. You can watch a tutorial to learn how to build something like an inventory system, a health system, whatever it is. It's really great to watch a tutorial to learn how something works, but that is just step one. You cannot neglect step two, and step two is to actually do something. The way you learn is you go from passive learning into active learning. So the way that you escape tutorial hell is not by following the advice of simply just stop watching tutorials. That is not correct. Tutorials are great, but you must do something in order to actually gain that knowledge. A lot of people, especially a lot of beginners, they get stuck in this tutorial hell loop, where they follow a tutorial exactly. Like for example, you follow my Kitchen Chaos course. If you follow this step by step and you write all the code step by step, if so, by the end, you will have a functioning project. As long as you follow all the steps, everything will work perfectly. However, then when you open up a blank project, when you do that, all of a sudden you will feel completely stuck. You will have no idea what to do, how do I do it, how do I start a brand new project. This is the problem right here. If you do this, you won't actually learn anything. But like I said, the advice is not just stop watching tutorials. That is not the correct advice. Tutorials are generally great. They give you guidance so you can actually learn how to do something. But that's what I was saying a while ago. Tutorials are very much just the first step. You cannot neglect step number two. And step number two is first you watch and then you rebuild. Either do it afterwards or alongside it. So those are basically the two methods you have of learning. And that is very much just personal preference. There's no right or wrong answer. You can either follow the tutorial step by step and copy the code step by step. And then at the end, then you apply some modifications. Or for every one of those steps, you apply some modifications to change what it does to understand what that part is doing. Either one of those is great, doing all the changes at the end or in between. If you're following something like a 10-hour course, it's probably best to do in between as opposed to in the end. But still, like I said, those are two viable strategies. So it's really up to you to figure out which strategy best works for you. But like I said, the important part is this. You have to then actually write something. You have to, for example, rebuild something that you learned in that tutorial. If you do that, if you actively write some code, if so, that will greatly help you understand why the tutorial exists the way that it is. You can either rebuild the exact same thing, or you can slightly change the requirements. Just something very slight, not something super insane. For example, if you're following some kind of key door system, then go ahead and implement some kind of locked chest. So basically just a different type to interact with the same key door system. If you do that, if you just modify one tiny thing and if you make that work, in doing so, you will actually gain quite a lot of knowledge. You will start to better understand why those decisions were made in that tutorial. That process will teach you a lot, and especially it will teach you something that does not get taught basically on tutorials, which is how when you follow some kind of tutorial, everything is essentially pre-planned for you. So all the implementation details, everything has already been decided for you. You don't really have to make many decisions by yourself. You really just follow the path and that's it. You will end up with the exact same system that you see in the tutorial. So what you see on the final video is basically after the teacher has solved all the mistakes, all the bugs, all those things. So all the usual potholes, all the usual mistakes that happened whilst building some kind of system for the first time, you don't actually see those in the final tutorial. And the reason why tutorials work this way is because nobody's really going to watch a 1-hour tutorial that involves all kinds of mistakes that the teacher made, that without those mistakes would have been a 20-minute video. Nobody's really going to watch that. So that is why on tutorials usually you don't see all of these mistakes, but they do absolutely exist. So sadly, that kind of creates the illusion that getting stuck is somehow a negative thing, when it's really not. It is very much part of the process. It is really just a part of the process that you don't see in a final tutorial, but I guarantee you behind every single tutorial, this part, getting stuck, that is always going to happen. And like I said, my advice is you follow some kind of tutorial, you watch it, and then you try to actively apply something. You try to modify some piece of code just to see what changes, how does that modify it. And doing so, you will get stuck, and that is perfectly fine, that is perfectly normal. Sometimes beginners, they think that getting stuck means they're doing something wrong, when they're really not. Getting stuck is very much just a natural part of the process. Get stuck is very much a core part of the actual training process. You get stuck, that means you need to debug, you need to read the errors, you need to use some logs. All of that basically requires you to use your brain, which then ensures you're actually gaining the knowledge, you're actually learning how to build something, as opposed to just blindly following a tutorial. However, even if you follow this method of watching and then doing something, if you do, you are likely going to end up with this, basically a mess of code. And if so, I want to say, that is also very much just part of the process. That is perfectly natural. I have my clean code talk titled How to Write High Quality Code That Doesn't Fall Apart. And in there, I mentioned basically exactly the same thing, which is how the first time that you solve a problem, you should just be focusing on trying to solve that problem. And then after you solved it, after you have more context of the actual solution, after that, you can actually go back and redo that problem, redo that solution. And since you have quite a lot more context, the quality of your code will be much, much higher. So when it comes to ending up with a mess of code, that is also perfectly fine. That's a normal part of the process. First, you make some messy code, and then you refactor everything to improve the quality of your solution. Essentially, this is the step-by-step process for how you actually escape tutorial hell. First of all, you watch a tutorial, so like I said, that is still very much part of it. You don't basically ignore tutorials. They are very useful, so do watch tutorials. But then importantly, don't skip the other steps. The next crucial step is to actually build something. So if you're following some kind of tutorial on some kind of hell system, after you've watched it, then go ahead and try to modify something on that hell system. Maybe build a hell system that supports both players and the enemy. Maybe a hell system that has some kind of shield. Another one that has some kind of stamina. Really doesn't matter, just write some code, modify it in certain ways just to see how exactly does it work. And as you're trying to modify the code, as you're trying to add more features, if so, you are definitely going to get stuck. And again, that's perfectly fine, that's a normal part of the process. Getting stuck is how you really learn. You come across some kind of wall, and then you have to figure out how to overcome that wall. And as you do that, that is how you actually gain a ton of knowledge. So you do that, and then you solve it, you end up getting unstuck. Then if you can, you compare your code with some professionally written code. For example, if you're trying to make some kind of hell system from memory, then you go ahead and compare with the original hell system tutorial that you followed. And as you are making that comparison, basically we're going to figure out ways that you can improve your code. So you do that, you improve it, go back, rebuild it again, then get stuck again, solve again, compare, improve, and so on. Basically keep doing this over and over again until you have something that is really solid and you know for a fact that you did gain that knowledge. If you follow this step-by-step process, I guarantee you will learn, I guarantee you will escape tutorial hell. Like I said, the goal is not to stop watching tutorials, they are still a very useful tool. But do stop only watching tutorials. That is just step one, don't forget all the other steps. If you start doing this whenever you follow some kind of tutorial, then I guarantee the next time you open up a blank new empty project, you will have much better knowledge, you will know exactly how to start, and after that it's really just gaining more and more experience, and as you gain that, you will be able to make more and more interesting games. And if you want a practical guide on how to escape tutorial hell, that's exactly why I started my Game Dev Practice Lab. This is all about helping you gain hands-on experience. Basically, this is a program with weekly game mechanics challenges, and I give you the starting project files as well as a set of goals, and then it's very much up to you to use whatever code you can come up with, use your own brain in order to figure out how to achieve all of these objectives. For example, I give you the starting scene of some kind of city builder. Everything works in terms of placing the buildings, but then it's up to you to figure out how do you add a save system on top of this. Or alternatively, I give you a scene with a nice warehouse and some buildings. Then it's up to you to implement some kind of camera CCTV system. Or the latest challenge that I just started, the worker task system. In this one, I give you the scene, and there's a worker that can walk around. And it's basically up to you to create some tasks, like for cleaning up floors or picking boxes. You have to actually write that code in order to achieve all the objectives. And like I said, by doing all of this, that is how you will actually generally learn. And also the practice lab is included in my CodeMonkey Summer Bundle. If you don't yet own any of my courses, this is a great discount. So check it out with the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.